Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining Black Angel. Black Angel is a 1 to 4 player game by Pearl Games. It's on the box, it says it runs from an hour to 2 hours. I had a game with 4 players the other night and it ran for just over the 2 hours, so it's not a bad timing marking on the box. Once again, it comes down to AP and how well people know the game as to how long. We've all been into these conversations. I'm not going to get into it again. Black Angel is seen as one of the games of the year by a lot of reviewers. I'm in two minds about it. I think that it's a good game. I really do. There's just a couple of elements on it that don't quite sit really well for me. The whole idea of the game is that you're on a ship that is saving the DNA, I guess, of the people of planet Earth and traveling to another planet. In the travel, there are no humans involved. It's all AI type stuff. But in that travel, the Black Angel ship is being attacked by various other enemies. You have a hand of cards. You can play the cards to do stuff on a single board that you've got in front of you, and you can play cards to do things around the ship. The things around the ship are dependent on dice rolls that you've had, and so there's going to be a point where you have to re-roll the dice. There's a separate thing you do when you re-roll the dice. You don't actually get to have your turn. It's just kind of a reset action. And what I found is that, especially on the 4-player game, all 4 players will tend to reset around about the same time. So the first player will do the reset, knowing that second, third, and fourth player very likely will also do a reset. By the time you get to a 4th player, however, they have the ability to just go and steal some dice from other players, and so they can keep going and do the reset in a moment. But knowing that means that the placement of things out on the space area, because you can place stuff in the ship, or you can send AIs out to explore other planets and get more stuff in, or at least have the ability to get more points when they get dispersed from the board. So that placement, you've got to kind of keep that in mind. There's cards that will gain you points when they get ejected from the board, so when their board piece disappears, and there's a whole bunch of board pieces in front showing you your travel, I guess. There's other cards that will go out that will gain you extra stuff depending on what the dice used are if you have control of that card. And those cards, if you put them too far back, they're going to disappear really quickly. There are some cards that are reliant on having other cards out. There's a lot of stuff going on that's all over the shop. I really like that in games. I really like that element. The thing that holds me up on this game is it's really nitpicky stuff, but at the end of your turn, whatever colored die you used to say I'm doing that action, so 3 different colors, each color has 2 actions you can do. One of them is out on the board, the other one is a purposeful thing for that color die only. When you use that die, you then take one of that colored card into your hand, which is cool, and that makes sense. That is a very easily forgotten rule, and I've got to say, within the 4-player game I had the other night of this, I was having to remind people to pick up that card all the way to the end of the game. And I fear that that's a element of our understanding or our knowledge, or it's just kind of, it's something that's pushed to the side and very easily forgotten. I find myself wondering if there are games that have this element that can be very easily forgotten, if that element shouldn't actually be there, or should be approached another way, or there's something about it that we just forget about it. I do wonder if it's just there's so many steps to follow that we tend to forget the stuff at the end. We just do these few at the beginning. It's a question mark I've got on that. I do really like the game. I find that I've played this against my wife, who is very anti-space games, and she was like, oh yeah, I actually don't mind that, even though it's a space game. I don't want to play it all the time, but if I have to play a space game, that actually might be one that I would go to. That's an encouraging thought, that this is something to go to. I've seen other people who have kind of seen the beginning of a video and gone, oh yeah, that's not a Euro, because of the dice. And I think that it is a Euro, even though it has the dice, because the dice are used in a very different way to what we'd expect out of the American style games. There's this whole joining, I guess, or blurring of the line between those two types of things. Many people have said this is a newer version of Trois. Trois is sitting on my shelf over there, still waiting for me to actually play the thing. I've got a pile of shame over there, and it's actually worrying me. I will try and get Trois done really quickly so that I can actually put the two together and see if I agree or disagree. And it might be time for me to actually do that, simply because I think this one has, or Trois, I think, has that dice rolling, and then you're using whatever the number on the dice is. I think that's the thing that's kind of bringing the two together. But that's what other people said. I haven't played it, so I'm not going to comment on that. There's a lot going on in this game. This is a really large game. So look, I'll leave it there. Go ahead and watch my Gamesplay and Gamesplanation and get a feel for how the game plays. Let me know if you like it. Make a decision. If you really like it, then get yourself a copy, as I've said previously. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you would like to be gamesplaying, please shoot me an email at thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.